Hello, everyone. My name's Robert Earl White, and recently you've probably seen the drone hunter video, which was a video I made going viral, absolutely nuclear viral on X and many other platforms as well, reaching millions and millions of views all over platforms. Now, I'm here to tell all of you the full story of what actually happened and how easy it is for misinformation to get spread when it comes to disclosure and a lot of other different types of information. This all started on December 4th when I actually recorded a drone flying right near my house. But that is not the video that went viral. The video that actually went viral was an edited joke that I did where I added gunshots and me shooting at this drone that was real that I recorded. I did this after hearing the Pentagon spokesperson, John Kirby, talking about why they can't shoot these things down.
Develop drones of some kind.
Why not just take one down and figure out what's going on?
Well, the idea of taking something down, again, you want to worry about public safety. First of all, we don't have enough conclusions to take that kind of a policy action. But let's just assume for a minute, Martha, that we did. I mean, you're not going to want to shoot something down where it could hit somebody's house or hurt somebody.
Well, the Coast Guard says that there are 30 of them following one of their ships in the ocean. So would that work?
I mean, again, we have to develop the policy options based on what we know we're dealing with here, and we just don't know enough to make those to take those kinds of actions. But my goodness, we're going to do everything we can to find out, and we're going to share as much as we can. I understand it's frustrating for folks.
Yeah. And then after Trump talking about we need to take these things down, I said, enough is enough. And I made this video to try to prove a point of real world consequences when the government decides to fail the American people in our national security and personal security. To my surprise, after I uploaded this video, which I clearly stated that the gunshots were edited in CGI, they were fake, they were not real. Long and behold, so many huge channels and accounts on X started uploading the video without the original context in their description. And before I know it, this video was going all over the place. People saying, this guy's shooting at drones. Now civilians are shooting at drones, and everyone echoing it. And it was just spreading even to some news agencies. This was absolutely insane. People calling me a patriot, a hero, all for something that I clearly stated was a fake. Now, what wasn't fake was the drone that I recorded. It was a dark, cloudy night, wind gusts of 50 miles per hour. And this craft that you can see the 4 lights, it was drone-like in nature, very low, roundish. And it had a low humming noise to it. Sounded like a big plane with a big blanket over it. It was very strange, unlike anything I've ever heard before. So after this video suddenly blew up and went viral, Community Notes on X actually flagged the video and said, this is the original video. And they attached my original drone video. Luckily for me, the original video finally started to get some attention after a week of constantly posting it over and over again in different ways, trying to get the attention. My good friend and colleague, Anthony S. Sinclair, Epic TV, he actually shared it with many news agencies and many media outlets, hoping that they would share it because it's widescreen 4K quality. It's amazing video. And the point and my intent of this video was to light a match under the government's butt and to show them the possibility of when they fail to secure our national security, what could possibly happen. This video was designed to alert the government to do something about this before people start taking it into their own hands. Now, as a disclaimer, no way, no time should you ever fire at any sort of flying object. There are many reasons why you shouldn't do this. You do not know what payload that craft could be carrying. You don't know who owns that craft. Whether it's extraterrestrials or man-made, that does not matter. especially if you try to shoot at an extraterrestrial craft. They might make you disappear into the fifth dimension. We don't know. It's not wise, and never do this. Always call the authorities and they will handle it. That's not our job as citizens. That's the military, the police, and other first responders' responsibility. So, after this went nuclear, I started seeing it all over the place. It was trending on top of X, the For You page, and they had attached to it, Trump says shoot down drones, and they had my video playing in the background. It was insane. So many big channels started sharing it all over the place. And before I know it, it gotten out of control. So a little backstory. I made this video of the fake drone shooting. I made it in the morning. And later in the day, I was texting Anthony S. Sinclair, Epic TV, and I showed him the video. At this point, I didn't post it or anything like that. And Anthony got such a kick out of it. He thought it was so funny. He was laughing over and over again. And he's like, can I share this? I'm like, yeah, go ahead. At that point, I didn't even share the video yet. Anthony puts it up, and I saw that his page didn't get taken down. He worded it correctly. He clearly stated that it was CGI. And I'm like, all right, so I'll do the same thing. Little did Anthony and I know that what started off as a joke would turn into something that just spiraled out of control. And it's crazy how these people that are so-called experts and trusted sources would promote something without going to the source of it. Here's a guy from News Nation. It's absolutely insane. And they just talk about this without going to the source and finding out the real information. And this is how bad things end up happening. And it's absolutely absurd. So with this being said, I'm going to bring my colleague, Anthony S. Sinclair, Epic TV, on here because recently, within the past 24 hours, he's captured 2 incredible drones. Incredible. And we're going to bring him on. How's it going, Anthony?
Good to see you, buddy. A lot of drama in the past 24 hours, eh?
How much were we laughing last night watching these people?
Here's the thing, Vito Fossella, the congressman for Staten Island, went live yesterday, and he was recommending on Fox News that homeowners should be able to shoot these drones down. President Trump, who I love and support, was also saying that we should shoot these drones down. Now, I'm all for taking them down properly. The United States government, the police department, the state police, the FBI, they have the means to take these down where no civilians could get hurt. But you went ahead and made a video just as the drone hunter, comical, showing some shots popping off at one of the drones. And you and I thought that this was going to raise awareness to show that it's a bad idea to let civilians pop off. But to our surprise, people were, like you said, calling you a patriot, saying this is amazing. People are finally taking matters into their own hands. Good for you. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of comments. I can't even calculate how many views. I mean, one channel had 1 million views already. Some had 900,000, 400,000. It went viral.
One had 3 million views. Just one.
You broke the internet last night. And like you said, Ross Coulthart from News Nation, who's supposed to be somebody that we look to in the media to give us real information, he posed crazy, insane idea to shoot at any airborne object over a crowded civilian area, a very serious criminal offense. Please do not do this. But in the absence of credibility information from the government, public may well react in panic. Instead of just clicking the video where the hashtag said CGI, or going to the actual video and reading the actual description that says it's a CGI fabricated video and what not to do, never to shoot drones, contact the FBI. That's all in the description. Not one channel looked at that. It was just a repost mayhem. And I mean, it's not our fault that these people didn't look where they were supposed to look. And this is what happens. This is Robert's point. And my point for so long now, for so many years, saying that people just take videos and repost them without reading the context behind it. And this is how BS misinformation spreads. And that's why it is so important to do your due diligence and take that extra 5 minutes to research. Because if X didn't flag the video to the original, that would have been on the news last night, the way that was trending. It might have actually made some news agencies that we didn't see yet, and I wouldn't be surprised. But as you were saying, I'd like to go ahead with your permission and play both videos in question. I'd like to start off with the enhanced one where you were the drone hunter shooting at it, and then I like to let that play into the actual video where it came from. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a real drone over Bridgeton, New Jersey, which is South Jersey, that Robert filmed outside his home. This is a massive round drone, but the gunfire is fake. And I am going to say this disclaimer right now. Do not ever pull out a weapon and fire near a drone. Do not try to take these down yourself. The best thing you could do is call local law enforcement or the FBI. That's the best thing you could do. And coming from a former police officer, trust me when I tell you, if you fire at any of these drones and you take matters into your own hands, you will end up locked up. Okay? So here goes that video right now. I'm going to let it roll. Okay, so that was your enhanced video footage. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'll drop in the unenhanced version of this. And it has a few news clips before it because it made the news. It made multiple news stations. So here we go with that.
Mystery over New Jersey.
New concerns hovering over parts of New Jersey. The FBI is investigating these mysterious drone sightings in Morris County.
Mysterious drones have been popping up in the night sky over New Jersey.
Developing right now, both the FBI and Homeland Security are now looking into those mysterious drone sightings we told you about in New Jersey.
Involving tonight, the FBI looking for info about possible drone sightings in New Jersey.
And Fox's Sharon Crowley is in the newsroom with more on what people are seeing and why the FBI now getting involved in this one. Sharon.
Yeah, what we've been hearing is really incredible. It's not only the FBI, but New Jersey State Police and the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security are asking for your help. If you see drones in the skies above your house or your head, they want to know what's going on. The feds want the public to report that information because they've had a number of recent sightings of possible drones flying along the Raritan River.
For more than 2 weeks, New Jersey residents have reported seeing mysterious drones hovering over their homes and neighborhoods at night in northern parts of the state. The drones, sometimes traveling in groups, have been spotted nightly in some areas, but law enforcement officials have been unable to provide an explanation for the large number of sightings. The FBI is taking the lead in this investigation. And just last night, Robert Earl White from the YouTube channel The Order of Light captured this amazing car-sized round drone over southern New Jersey. Take a look at this clip because it surely is magnificent. And in the video you will hear Robert saying over and over It is not UFOs. It is not extraterrestrials. It's a military drone. Have a look.
Mysterious drones in South Jersey. They're down here now. Mysterious drones. These are military crafts. These are not extraterrestrials. They are not extraterrestrials. These are military craft. I'm looking at it. I hear it. That is a military craft. It's very low.
That was a dynamite catch. And let me tell you, I've watched so many drone videos right now, and I'm of the belief that because the media is portraying regular aircraft in some of their clips, that a lot of people are looking up to the sky and seeing airplanes at altitude and assuming that they are drones. And that's a problem. And the media is finally rectifying that situation and speaking on it. But just this morning at 6 a.m., over my house, I heard the strangest sound, this loud whirring motion sound that literally rattled my windows. And to my surprise, I stopped feeding the dog and I went to my front door with my phone in my hand. And I happened to look up to this object hovering about 40 to 50 feet over my rooftop. And it was a quadcopter drone at 6:13 a.m. on Staten Island, New York, in the Eltingville section, the size of a small VW Bug. And I have that video here, Robin. With your permission, I like to play that if you're all right with that.
Go for it.
I could not believe what I witnessed. So let's take a look at this, because these objects are flying around. They are happening. But Robin had a really good video, and I just happened to catch a really good one this morning. So here we go.
Look at this thing. Shit.
As my dog tries to break out of the glass door, she's scratching on it. But I also included in that video in the top right-hand corner my Ring camera footage, actually showing me video in the sky, and that thing was loud and low, and I still can't come to any visible means of why they would be all over. What is the purpose? I do think the military is testing them, because we all remember the spy balloons, right? And they had very large payloads on the bottom of them. And we sent up F-18s and F-22s and shot them out of the sky. So I understand these are over residential areas, but at some point they have to be over open fields where they can be brought down. And if I'm not mistaken, don't we have the technology now where we can shoot like a microwave at this thing and it will just lower it gently to the surface of the ground, right? So why isn't that happening? I personally think it's because it's the military. Could this be a psyop that we're seeing in real time, Robert?
Yeah, a great example of that the other day on Fox, when John Kirby was being questioned, the reporter on Fox said, well, when the Coast Guard was out in the ocean and they had 35 of these drones chasing them, why didn't they shoot it down over open water? No one would have been hurt or injured. And it's a serious threat. It is, because we don't know the payloads. It could be chemical warfare. It could be a disease. It could be an EMP.
We've all seen the images coming out of the war zones overseas. You can attach a hand grenade to one of these drones. You can attach a firearm. You can attach a small bomb, like you said, an EMP, which is an electromagnetic pulse that can wipe out all your electronics. Anything could be retrofitted to a small drone. Can you imagine what it could do to a car-sized drone? Now, if I'm not mistaken, though, I do not think this is any of our adversaries, be Iran. We heard some congressmen saying, oh, it's Iran and this is. No, I don't think so. Because if any other country operated over American soil, that would be an act of war, would it not? Okay, so it cannot be that. It has to be either our own government or maybe some kind of special access program working inside our government, maybe like something like a Blackwater testing out new equipment they're going to roll out. Every now and then, the military does test over civilian areas. It is not that uncommon. What's uncommon is not getting, a briefing sent to local police departments and fire departments. Hey, you're going to be seeing some drones for the next couple of weeks. We're doing testing for whatever they want to say they're doing testing for, and end it. You wouldn't have this mass hysteria. But now it's gotten to the point where I can definitely see people getting pissed off and taking matters into their own hands because the government is not doing their due diligence here and doing what they have to do. We're supposed to be one of the most secure nations in the world, one of the most tightly guarded and tightly defended nations in the world. And you can't take down some drones over our homeland? I'm sorry, that just doesn't work for me. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, it's an absolute, national security failure. And that's what makes this so disturbing. And I believe throughout UFO history, a lot of these UFO flaps that have happened in the past were during times of military testing. This is not the first time. Very important note that I want to bring up too. And a big reason why I did this video is exactly that, to show, what this could turn to if it's not taken care of. But it's important to note Orson Welles, War of the Worlds, the radio broadcast that set New Jersey into panic. That was here in New Jersey, very close to where all of the drone stuff started. And I've learned that history has a way of repeating itself. I don't know why it happens or how it happens, but it does. And I believe that this is some sort of test to see how first responders, to see how civilians, how police officers, etc., would react. And also, they want to know their own capabilities. How long can they hover there before someone takes them out? The problem is no one's taking them out, so they're not getting good data. If this is a military test, they're not getting wartime data. Wartime data would be every bullet we have in this country shooting up towards the sky. So
indeed.
I don't understand the intent behind it, but I know for a fact it's not goats from Iran, sheep herders that have a mothership out there and it's just sitting out there in the ocean. The perfect place to take out a target is in the middle of the ocean. Just not adding up. And this administration and government, they really think the American people are stupid.
They do.
I don't blame them. Look at what all these people just did with a fake CGI gunshot video. Are we really surprised?
Mass hysteria, Robert. And real quick, just
dangerous.
As you talk, and I'm going to go ahead and just let this clip of Orson Welles go in the background because you made a valid point there, and it brings me up to the movie The War of the Worlds that was filmed on Staten Island about 20 years ago. And you brought up a valid point here because Orson Welles, when he did the radio broadcast, The War of the Worlds, people went into mass hysteria. They didn't know what to do. People were running out of their homes thinking a real alien invasion was underway. These things happen. Mass hysteria happens. People panic, especially that the everyday average citizen who doesn't observe the sky like you and I and many other ufologists doesn't understand what's above them. I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, they have these weird blinking lights on them." Well, those are FAA lights. Those are Federal Aviation Authority lights.
Red, green, white.
Right. They're regulated for every aircraft that's in the sky. And the headlights on the aircraft as well. You have them on the ends of the wings, the front of the plane by the landing gear, and in the rear of the plane. It's basically anti-collision strobe lights on there and landing gear lights. And when it's foggy, they turn them on as well up in the air. Every time you see a plane. But a lot of these crafts we're seeing are fixed wing aircraft. And Robert and I are well aware that some of these craft, some of these drones that have been sighted are fixed wing aircraft. But a lot of them that the media is showing are just regular everyday passenger jets. And big ups to the media outlets that are finally reporting on that, letting them know that a lot of these are just everyday, passenger planes. I will say this morning, for my sighting, I contacted the FBI. I called them at 6:20 this morning, and they gave me some links, some Axon links, to send the link, the video footage I had, over to them immediately. They are taking this very seriously, the FBI. The SAC, the SAC agent, which is a special agent in charge for the Eastern District, thanked me up and down for sending the footage. She said it was crystal clear footage. Thank you so much. We need more crystal clear footage. So if anyone has crystal clear or semi-clear footage where you can make out that it's a quadcopter or fixed wing aircraft, and you know without a shadow of a doubt that it's not a passenger plane, please contact your local FBI field office. They want this information, and I will leave a link in the description for the FBI field office so you can contact them. As a matter of fact, it's New York at FBI.gov. I will go ahead and post a banner down below right now. But Robert, your thoughts?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up. After Anthony submitted his to the FBI, he gave me the contact, and I sent an email going into great depths because the craft I saw, it wasn't just cruising around in South Jersey. It's not a highly populated area where I live, a lot of marshland. My concern was the direction of this craft was going directly towards the Hope Creek nuclear plant in Salem County. Nuclear plants are no-fly zones of 10 nautical miles, which is about 11 normal miles, okay? So anything going towards a nuclear plant, not knowing the payload or what it is, even though the officials are all saying, to the best of our knowledge, these things aren't a threat. We don't know what they are, but we know for sure they're not a threat.
Sure they don't.
It's a double standard. It's ridiculous. And I'm sorry, anything flying in a no-fly zone near a nuclear facility, there's actually 2 nuclear plants there. It's serious stuff.
Very serious.
And if one of those places go down, guess who's going to get wiped out? Me. I'm not going to exist anymore because I live right down the street from it. You know?
God forbid.
And it's a major issue. So yes, everyone, please make sure you check out that link. And I did send it there and all that. So make sure you check it out.
And, furthermore to the point, John Kirby, he's the actual one that was saying, and I know a lot of people don't like John Kirby, right? But he was the guy that's saying the White House says many drone sightings are legal manned aircraft. Okay. And just so you know that we're not BSing you, there it is right there in black and white that many of these are regular manned aircraft. And don't forget, over the next couple of days, you're going to have the Geminid, I hope I'm saying it right, the Geminid meteor showers happening. So you're going to see a lot of bright streaking meteors in the sky too that can very easily be misidentified. Last night I was out there, Rob, and some of them were so beautiful and so bright. What led me to go out was I took the garbage out the night before, and when I stepped out, about 14 of them came down at once, so close to each other, and it was so bright and so vivid and so beautiful that I just set up the cameras and let it record. It was really awe-inspiring to see, and it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing to see. I also want to bring up the point that the media is now covering other reports that military bases have been breached, such as Naval Weapons Stations Earl, which is Fort Earl Naval Weapons Station, which is right across the ocean from me, where I filmed that big, bright orange object over the ocean that was in the movie Transmedium USOs with Darcy Weir. But the base remains prepared to respond to any potential risks, leveraging robust security measures and advanced detection capabilities. We encourage members of the community to report suspicious activity near the base to local law enforcement. That's Bill Addison, the public affairs officer from Naval Weapons Station Earl. That's Fort Earl Naval Weapons Station. Okay, that's right here, right over the harbor here in Staten Island. You can see the military ships from my backyard. And if they got breached, that frightens me. Military bases, Homeland Security facilities, police departments, fire departments are being breached. That's frightening. That's a frightening scenario.
And it's not just Staten Island. It's not just New Jersey. Even Norfolk in Virginia, their naval base had these drones cruising around about a week and a half ago. You know, it's spreading out. It seemed like it started in an isolated area, and or because people are aware of it now, people are noticing it more. I think
Here's
that's
what-
a big point.
Here's what boggles my mind, though. If this was going to be some kind of attack, God forbid, and I'm not saying that it is, so please don't misconstrue my words, but let's just say for argument's sake, it was going to be an attack. You already lost the element of surprise, no?
Yeah.
So that's out the window. So what is it? I mean, at the very least, I doubt it's novice out there flying their gigantic drones. I doubt Bill Gates, somebody from Google or Facebook is going to come out or Amazon and say, no, we're just rolling out our delivery package drones and we're testing them over areas. We didn't have permits, so we didn't say anything. I mean, what could it really be?
And
I
I
mean-
want to add on to that because I saw something recently, and I believe Elon Musk knows more than what he's putting out. He's been fairly quiet. And back in September, he posted something about wait until people see the drone wars going on. And he's been oddly silent for a guy that is in the space industry and technology.
Right.
And that kind of tells you everything you need to know. You know, something's going on, and just no matter how you look at it, it just doesn't add up. Like you said, no element of surprise. If the military is doing this for testing, they're not getting actual wartime results.
And they're
So-
not notifying other bases like Fort Earl and the White House. They're not letting the people who need to know.
It's not a joint exercise. That
It's
all
not-
military training is a joint exercise. These are not
Right.
joint exercises.
Thank you. Right.
They're
Very strange.
isolated subcontractor black projects. The billions that Congress and Senate don't know where the money goes, they go to the black projects. My father worked in Cape Canaveral underground on classified projects. We have things that the public has no idea, nor can they comprehend
Oh,
it.
believe me, brother. My
You
cousin
know?
Steven works on nuclear submarines. He builds them, and he's a government subcontractor. So believe me, yes, there are things that you wouldn't believe. And the stuff that you see now that the military has in hand and operating with, they're
Old.
20, 30 years advanced that. They have things that you would blow your mind. You know, Jim Goodall was told by Ben Rich, we now have the capability to take ET home. So
Yep.
keep that in mind. But back to the drones, it's very concerning. So if you see something, please, by all means, say something. And if anybody on Staten Island this morning, December 14th, 2024, seeing one of these gigantic drones fly over the Staten Island area, that quadcopter that I showed you, please contact me at epictv-ny and leave a comment on that video. I would like to know. Robert and I, we attempt to triangulate UFOs, unidentified flying objects. If something flies over Staten Island and it heads to his point in New Jersey, I contact him. And if it heads towards Long Island to our partner Mike, I contact him. And the three of us try to pick up the same object and triangulate it. We're also doing the same thing with the drones. Could it happen? Yes. Has it happened yet? No, but it's not that far off from one flying over Staten Island and reaching Rob a couple miles away in New Jersey and, us filming the same object. It can happen because we're trying to triangulate where they're coming from, where they're landing, and why. Somebody had to see one of these drones land and take off. I mean, they're just not vanishing into thin air, or are they? Because I've heard some stories that these drones could very well be reverse engineered alien technology. And I know that's a stretch. But just think about it for a minute. For years, we've heard stories in the UFO world, in the UFO community, that extraterrestrial craft can mimic our human crafts. What I seen this morning did not look extraterrestrial, but I'm not saying there can't be objects in the mix that aren't, because extraterrestrials use UAS, unmanned aerial systems, as well. Okay, we're not the only ones. Just like we send our rovers to Mars, I believe they send their rovers to Earth. And with their advancements, they're not driving around on our planet with their rovers, they're flying. So keep that in mind too.
And why you brought up a great point. Why, if these things are extraterrestrials, why would you want to send your good craft down to a place where they're going to shoot at you and try to take you down. You send a little spy drone, the little metal balls we see flying around, and Israel has a lot of them. That's been told to me by Air Force pilots and commercial pilots that have seen drones on runways flying in front of them. And one point I do want to bring up about people reaching out. I've had a lot of people in my area, South Jersey, come out and say, hey, we've been seeing it too. But when you watch the news and everything, and you see the state of New Jersey, and they have the highlighted areas where these drones are being seen, and I live on the line of two counties, Cumberland County and Salem County. Those counties do not show up. And it's
What do
like,
you mean?
when they show the map of New Jersey and the red highlighted areas of drone reports,
right?
Cumberland County and Salem County are not shown. It's dark. And I'm like, hey, I've been sharing. That's why I keep sharing my video. I'm trying to tell people they're not just in that area of New Jersey. I had a friend in Pennsylvania, near Harrisburg, seeing them go up and down the rivers out there.
Really?
Yeah, took a video. She was inside. It was cold, and they moved so fast. And she had a house, her neighbor, and it blocks her view. But she hurried up and ran to her window, and there's glare. It's not the best quality footage, but she's like, if I had a better camera, and I could go outside and just wait for these things, but it's freezing cold out there. But she says they've been going up and down the rivers.
You bring me to a valid point with the UFOs. I want to show an example of one of these unidentified flying object orbs to show people what they look like. You cool with that?
Yeah, do it.
All right, so this is just last night, okay? So take a look at this. This is just a giant orb. And by the way, just for some reference, Rob and I use tracking systems. We use satellite tracker. We use Heavens Above. We track airplanes. We track unmanned aerial vehicles, UAS drones, and stuff of that nature. If it's documented on paper, we can track it. But sometimes the military has craft that are untrackable because they're top secret programs that we cannot track, like the X-27B that flew around Earth for 2 years. And I'm sure a lot of people caught a glint of that in the sky and was like, oh, it was a UFO, but it was the X-27B. This is an object that was unidentified, was not on any of our software that we could pick up. But check it out. It's a gigantic orb over the ocean.
Look at you. Booking.
Now, these objects, you can see the color undulating from them. They're actually pulsing from the inside out, all different colors. Now, I'm using a Psionics night vision camera. This camera picks up light spectrums that are not visible to the human eye. That object in the sky is not visible to my naked eye, yet it is so big, so massive. And you can see that it's traveling at a really high rate of speed as it passes the stars. Okay? Don't know what these objects are. Now, this could very well be an unmanned aerial vehicle that extraterrestrials are using. This is what we're talking about. That could very well be one of those craft. Okay, and nobody could tell me different because nobody has one locked up in their lab for testing. So nobody can deny that it can or can't be. So keep a lookout for things like that too and report them to both Robert and I. You know, Robert's channel is Robert Earl White, The Order of Light, and I am Anthony Essenplayer from Epic TV New York. If you see anything like that, even if you have video footage that you don't want to put up, but you would like to see the world get a glimpse of it and you would like to share it with the world, send it to Rob. Send it to me. We would love to take a look at it. And if it passes our scrutiny, we will put it up 100%, right? Why not?
Yeah. And to add on that, these orbs, you know, last week I posted a lot of videos of these orbs, just like you said, pulsating, no FAA regulated lights on them, all sorts of different colors. Sometimes it will be a bicolor, meaning like the one I saw was green and blue. Sometimes it'll be red and white. But when you really zoom in on them, but at the end of the day, there was that one video where they got a camera and someone zoomed in on it really close, and it looks all, pixelated and stuff.
Right.
But you could zoom in on a star in the sky and it's going to look the exact same way. And
right, yeah. I was watching a YouTube channel that has subscribers in the millions, whose name I won't mention because we don't do that. But
yeah,
they had gotten a video clip in of an alleged extraterrestrial orb, and unfortunately what they filmed was just a plane coming on approach with its landing lights on. And when that happens, you can't see the FAA strobe lights when it's head on, and the subject was head on. Kind of gives a diamond effect, but the camera filter inside the camera lens gives something called the bokeh effect. And depending on what that aperture is, could be triangular, could be diamond, could be round, whatever that shape is, it's going to project it out onto the camera and make that image distort. And that's what that channel filmed. But they jumped to tell everybody this was an extraterrestrial vehicle, and it wasn't. So again, that brings us to the point where never say without a shadow of a doubt that it 100% is, because nobody knows. Nobody is a UFO expert. Nobody can take that label and give it to themselves. None of us are experts in this field. We're all novice at best, and we're all trying to get answers, right? So instead of telling everybody that it is 100% without a shadow of a doubt this, when it's not, in your description, do what we do. Put what you think it could be. Because a couple months go by and, all these debunkers, next thing you know, you filmed a balloon or you filmed a plane and, it makes you look bad. So be careful when you're doing that.
Yeah, that's a great point. And, with these crafts and, with planes, and I've been fooled a lot of times because sometimes these orbs look just like an airplane coming at you. And a lot of times I whipped out my phone, and then when the plane gets past me or turns on a different angle, I see the FAA flashing lights. I'm like, that's plane. I delete the video. Simple as that. But the fact that coming towards us, it can even fool you and I, people that are standing out there for hours.
Because 2, 3, 4 miles out, it looks like it's hovering in the sky, but really it's flying towards you with that bright light. But it takes 30 to 60 seconds.
But we have to start recording it just in case, because the orbs can look very similar. And I would say that for all those that consider themselves experts, let me make this clear. You are not an expert until you are on an extraterrestrial craft with video documentation, scientific documentation, and instruments, and you're recording the experience. You're talking in 4K quality with extraterrestrials. If you do that, you are an expert. If you're not doing that, you are not an expert. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. And another thing I want to bring up real quick that's a little bit off subject, but when it comes to ufology, the one thing that I hate the most is when people knock other people's encounters and experiences.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Nobody knows what somebody else experienced, seen, went through. And, bullying is a terrible thing, and ufology, this field, and I'm sure many other fields of research on the internet are full of bullying, but that's the worst thing you could do. If you don't agree with something that somebody's discussing, either remove yourself from the channel or just, politely leave. There's no need to bully and nitpick somebody to the point where, suicidal thoughts come into mind. You know what I mean? Yeah, I deleted a channel this year with 40,000 subscribers because I literally went nuts from, people just being jealous and talking crap. I just couldn't take it no more. You know what I mean? It really will get to you. It'll eat you up inside. So please don't do that. Be kind. And if you can't be kind, just don't say anything, because it takes less energy to walk away than to be a bully. And that's all I want to say about that. I'm not going to get so in depth, but just be kind. If you don't got nothing nice to say, just don't say anything at all.
Yeah, it's hard. I stopped for about a year. I started drinking really bad, became a full-blown alcoholic. It was so hard. But after becoming sober, and I'm just about 7 months, I haven't touched a drop. and my head is so clear now, and
Good
I'm
for
not
you.
focusing on what others are doing. All we can do, Anthony, is make sure our side of the street is clean
That's
and
it.
to try to provide the best evidence. If people want to sell fantastical stories, that's not my
That's their
business.
business, right?
Let them do it. And that's where I am now. But before, when people like you and I, we put so much time, effort, money into what we were doing.
Yeah.
And then we got very little exposure. And then we see people selling those fantastical stories and they're just clobbering us. You just get this so cynical, and
Yeah.
it just eats at
Eats
you.
you
But
up.
once
Yeah.
you let that go, oh man, it's
Yeah.
the best path, and
I
it's
don't care if 2 people watch my videos now. That's 2
yeah.
people that are reached and 2 people that are genuinely caring about my research, and that's all that matters, man.
If we
But,
impact one person or connect
all that
with them,
matters.
if
All that
one
matters.
person saw something that you or I saw, but they didn't get it on video, and then they watch our video, and it gives them that reassurance that they weren't crazy, that they weren't imagining something.
Indeed.
That's huge, man. That's big.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Validation.
And in closing here, what I'm going to do is, before we go, I'm going to go ahead and play the video with the gunshots one more time for anybody that just
Drone
walked in.
hunter. Robert Earl
drone
White.
hunter right here, Robert Earl White himself, ladies and gentlemen. And again, for anybody that was fooled by this video, it was not only in the disclaimer that it was CGI, but everywhere it was posted on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. The minute you click the video, it says right underneath CGI, and then the description in depth about how it's CGI and the reason why it was made and all of that. So next time, just do your homework and read the description. I mean, it's that simple. But anyway, here's that video one more time, and then we'll show the drone that flew over my house. Dude, I laughed so hard when I seen that, because the first thing I said to him was, "Are you out of your mind shooting at drones? Are you?" I really thought it was real the first time he said that. I said, "Have you lost it? You're shooting drones now? You're gonna kill somebody." And he said, "You idiot! I overlaid a gunshot video, a gun shooting video." Oh, and I said, "My God, that came out so good." And people were more concerned with his aim than the fact that he might have really shot that thing out of the sky.
Yeah.
They were more
Yeah.
concerned about where he got tracer rounds from and where, the bullets are going to land in somebody's backyard, or nobody cared about the drone coming down. They were all happy. They were more concerned about his aim. People were telling him they're going to buy him a scope, a laser. I couldn't believe the comments.
Yeah,
But,
completely ignoring the actual drone
that's
talking
in
about
the
the
video.
gun or someone shooting at focusing on all their focus was on the fake, completely oblivious to
The
what was
aim.
real in the video.
The aim they were concerned about. Crazy shit. And then this morning over Staten Island, the drone that flew over my house, if I was standing on my roof and I stuck my hand up, I think I could have probably touched this thing.
It was
but
low. Yeah.
In this video, in the top right-hand corner, you're going to see my Ring camera video playing at the same time, and me standing outside filming, and my Ring camera picked me up. Also at the bottom, you'll see a map with a blue line, and that's the area the drone is flying over on Staten Island. Here we go.
Look at this thing. Shit.
Crazy. So remember, if you see something, please, by all means, say something, and never, ever shoot at a drone. You could seriously injure yourself, a neighbor, anybody. If one of these drones get hit and come down, it is going to do serious damage. Let the authorities that are trained in these matters deal with it. I know they're not really dealing with it in a way that we see fit right now, but eventually they will figure out a way to get one down, and then from that point on, that people are going to be getting round up real quick once they get one down and they lift prints and tracking data and all the shit that we do. Okay, so have no fear. The drone hunter is here.
And yeah, Anthony, thank you so much for coming on. And I'm glad the work we're doing together. And yes, the drone hunter. I hope this video really clears up, and I hope we made the point of our intent of why we did this. It was not to get click views or anything like this. The reason we did this was to start a spark under the government to resolve this issue before the remote possibility of people actually doing this. And then it becomes a threat on top of a threat. Then you got two threats, the people on the ground and the drones. Right now, it's just the drones. How about we stop the one threat so the threat from the ground will not happen? We got to stop this. So if all of you, if you've appreciated this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to our pages, go down into the description. You can find Anthony's Epic TV New York, his link down there, along with the FBI contact if you see one of these drones in your area. And please, if you enjoy this and, leave your thoughts. Yeah, share it. Leave your thoughts or comments. If you've seen something similar, comment it down below. We would love to hear it. And make sure that you subscribe to Anthony's page. We're working on a lot of projects together. We got a couple surprises coming for everyone.
Yep.
So, now that that's cleared, the drone hunter, the expose. Now we know.
I'm just curious, how'd you got all that beard in the mask? How'd you stuff that bad boy in there, man? Would you tie the beard behind your back and put the mask on?
I just tucked it in my shirt. I just tucked it in my t-shirt and put it out. That thing keeps me warm because Anthony and I, we are out in freezing cold temperatures, wind blowing on us, and we're standing out there for hours sometimes trying to record stuff, freezing to death. Sometimes I'm holding the camera and I'm shaking. I'm like, how in the hell can I stay focused on this orb in the sky when I'm so cold? And you hear my teeth chattering in the back.
But that's ufology, folks. I mean,
man.
We love what we do. And
I busted my knee the other night recording that one, ran right into a lawn chair, busted my knee. It's ufology, that's what we do. But yes, everyone, thank you so much. And Anthony, thanks so much for coming out, and keep looking, because you're capturing the drones as well. And we're both capturing a lot of things that aren't drones.
That's right.
And I think that really needs to be the story, so
Absolutely.
Hopefully we can do that. And hopefully this video provided some clarity and explaining that you must go to the source for information. Just because a channel or a YouTuber or someone has millions of followers doesn't mean anything if they're using videos without sources.
Or permission.
Yeah, exactly. So I hope this clears everything up and helps all of you understand our intent of what's going on.
Absolutely.
And please check out the videos on both of our channel. If you're into UFO and truly unidentified aerial phenomena, you want to check out our pages. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. So thanks, everyone.
And remember, friends, if you're not looking up, you're not looking out. And this is ufology. We are the disclosure. Have a good one, everybody. Take care.